Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for an all new episode recap of today's Days of Our Lives, February 12, 2025. So we start off with this sort of a bombshell that the hospital is going under, is filing for bankruptcy, and Kayla and Stephanie are definitely surprised at what's going on because it's like, they thought that the hospital was on the up and up since the whole soap opera was being filmed there. So he said that since Kate and Abe is cutting the axe on production happening here, like they are running dry, and the hospital board can't afford to put no more money into the hospital, and they just have to close up shop. Business is just business. But of course Kayla is just angry about it because she has definitely spent most of her years working there, and she cares about the people there. She cares about the people that need to be need special medical care, and she worries about people that don't have insurance and all that. So Seth said he's worried about that too, but at the end of the day, business is business. They can't just run empty like that. And he just says, I have to clear up my decks, and he leaves. So Kayla and Stephanie gets to talk, and Stephanie's asking her how she's feeling, which obviously you can tell that she's angry, and she feels bad for that. And she said, we have to really find an investor who will invest into the hospital. And of course, they just wonder, Tom Hart would be so upset to hear that the hospital is being affected like this. But they have to find somebody quick to really help the hospital, or it's just gonna be closed down for good. So remember in yesterday's episode when Leo was with Kate and Abe, and he wanted to talk to them about being remote, still being the head writer on the soap opera, and they just let him down and tell him that okay, they already found a new head writer. So Leo is there trying to rummage through his stuff, pack out things to leave, and then Doug comes in, and Doug says, I'm here to report for my first day. And he said, that's not gonna happen. The soap opera got canned here, and it's going to Los Angeles, so I'm really out of a job because they already have a new head writer in charge, right? So Doug said, I'm really sorry to hear that, and Leo said he's sorry that he couldn't help him out with a job. And Doug said, maybe I need to go to Holly to get back the money for, I guess, her school trip. And Leo said, don't worry about it, let her keep it, it's okay. I can see that you really like her, so don't worry about it, right? So Doug said, I don't like her, we're just friends. And of course Leo is not buying that, we're not buying that. And he said, hopefully, we can just move forward from this. And Doug said that he's gonna find some job elsewhere to really still repay him back for all his help, right? So Seth comes over to the studio to talk to Kate and Abe about, running him his last check, since he will be out of there to go to LA and, continue his budding acting career there. So Leo is so, happy for him and said, I didn't think that you'd be out there since your real daytime job is at the hospital. So it tells Leo that the hospital, is not on the up and up, so he has to just go elsewhere, start this new journey being a, new up and coming actor. So he said, for what it's worth, the soap opera really the production really made the error of not having you there as their head writer, and give him the vote of confidence. And of course Leo felt good to hear that, right? Going back to Joy and Alex, and let me tell you, this was bound to happen, and I'm just glad it happened now because they just wasn't meant to be. So anyways, they were talking about the big move to LA to continue acting for the soap opera, and Joy said, what is it that's keeping you here? Is it Stephanie? Because you're talking about family and your aunt Maggie and all of that, but come on now, you don't even get along well with your cousins. So is it Stephanie? So of course, he wanted to go around, beat around the bush. And she said, listen, I know what you guys did. I saw you guys kissing the other day when you guys carried me in here. And he said, why didn't you tell me anything? And she said, you know what? I was waiting for you to tell me, to just be honest with me, but you didn't have the guts to be honest. You were cowardly, which I definitely agree. He's been cowardly the whole time, beating around the bush, not telling Joy how he feels, and that he really wants to be with Stephanie and not her, right? So he said he was trying to let her down easy. He didn't want to hurt her feelings, but you already did in the process. So she said, I thought we meant something, and Alex is trying to say, we can still go to LA. You can still go to LA. You can still go do your thing. And she said, why? Because then you'd be free to go with Stephanie. So I said, no, it's not that. I'm trying, thinking about your future and everything with Johnny and all that. And I really did like you, and I really, liked hanging out with you, and I just wanted to be there for you, given what happened with Johnny and Chanel. And she said, really, no, or you just miss being in my bed. So I said, it's not like that. It's not like that. So she said, you know what? I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you no more. Just go, right? So, it was bound to happen, and, I'm happy for it anyways. And she was calling her mom, and her mom wanted to come back down. She said, no, it's fine. I'll figure out myself, right? So speaking of Johnny and Chanel, they're at the square talking about the recent events. Johnny's discharged, and he's feeling fine. And they start talking about the whole soap opera being canned and it moving to LA. So Chanel asks Johnny, like, what do you want to do? So he said, like, I really don't want to jeopardize our relationship because we just got back on track, and I really don't want to leave you here. Like, where our families are here, your business is here. I really don't want you to uproot your life just to go. Like, we had that discussion, I think last year, and I just really don't want to go backwards, right? And besides, I can really pick up production, theater, whatever. I can start something here. I really want to build a family with you, right? So speaking of this family, right? Because at first, Chanel says, I really don't want you to give up on your dreams. And are you just not wanting to go because Joy might be there? And he said, no, I don't even know if Joy is going to LA. And besides, Joy is with Alex, so that's not really a factor. So anyways, they did at some point later in the episode talk about, starting a family since it's been 6 months. And, they had this difficulty in the last pregnancy, and they want to restart and have their family, and I'm all for it. Like, I'm happy that they're on good terms. I like when Chanel is supportive. I like when Chanel is being that wife, that support partner, and they really do make a good couple, and they really weathered the storm, and hopefully it's just nothing but great things for them, especially hopefully they have a child together too. So Tate and Holly, they're there doing homework, catching up. But it wasn't really that interesting. The scene between them, it was like watching paint dry. I don't think they really have any chemistry. Tate is really dull to me. I'm liking Holly with Doug, and I'm just waiting for that to happen. I know it's playing devil's advocate, but I am advocating for them to be a thing, right? Because Tate is dull as a person. He has this whole thing going on with Sophia that's never gonna end because there's always a complication. So Holly just needs to cut her loss and go. But anyways, they're talking about upcoming Valentine's Day plan, and Tate rented out the Horton cabin. He got the key from Maggie, and they're talking about actually spending the Valentine's Day together, being intimate for the first time, and she's looking forward to that. And I'm like, I was rolling my eyes at this because I'm like, come on, girl, like, Tate, really, like, you can do a lot better. But anyways, Sophia comes in because at this point, there's always gonna be her just lurking in the corners now. So just recently found out that the old actress that was playing Sophia, she's not playing it no more for whatever reason, I don't know. But we have a new character, new person playing the character Sophia, and I don't know how to read her yet. She seems a little bit nervous, anxious, but I would rather that than the snarky one that we had on for months, right? So anyway, she comes in and she tells Tate that she found a couple in church that is willing to adopt the baby, and her mother approves. So they she's telling Tate that we gotta meet them. They were willing to meet them, and he said when. So she said now. So of course that rubbed Holly the wrong way, and Holly's saying that oh, go ahead, it's important. And I'm saying, how can you be so giving and so understanding every time? Because you guys are obviously having a little lunch date, and then Sophia comes in and just decides to make demands like, oh, now, like, they didn't even discuss to say, okay, let's really plan up have something first, right? But anyways, Tate is just so anxious because he just really wants this to be done with and him to move on with Holly and do what he do. But when a baby is involved, it's never ending. It's just gonna keep on continuing. No matter if you adopt, you give the baby up for adoption, like it's always in the back of your head, like, okay, that baby is somewhere out there, right? So anyways, like, one thing I could not stand is when they refer to the baby as it, because the baby has a gender, him or her. I would rather like that. But when you say give it up, it's like a prop, it's like an object. I really don't like it, right? So Tate and Sophia go to the square, and Sophia's just anxious. Tate was offering to buy her some, but she was so anxious she don't want to eat and she has to work. So she gets a phone call from the couple that want to adopt their baby, and it turns out they don't want to do that, and they're flaking out on them, and she hang up the phone on Sophia. Sophia tells Tate that they're not gonna be interested in it no more, so we're back to square one, and she's just worried because she doesn't think she's gonna find somebody that will adopt the baby. And I'm like saying, it's so much stress on her. Why is Tate not helping to find a suitable couple? Why is it everything that is Sophia? The ideas are all Sophia. Like, it's his baby too. Like, he needs to be out there. Like, if he's that serious about wanting adoption for the baby, and he needs to be looking for people, suitable people too. Like, he can't be all Sophia. Like, that would definitely stress her out, and that's not good for the baby at all, as we all know, right, as parents. So anyways, he said, don't worry, we'll find somebody. And at this time, Chanel and Johnny come over, and Johnny, is saying hi to him, and Tate introduces him to Sophia, and Chanel already knows Sophia because Sophia is a regular there. So Tate, Johnny's asking how is everything, is everything all right? So he said, not really, we're trying to find a couple to adopt our baby, but we're not getting through. And then Sophia's mom is not really that happy about the idea, and now we're at square one, so we really don't have somebody that she approves of and all that. So they're sorry to hear that, and they understand how rough it could be for them, especially also for Holly and the relationship and everything, right? At some point, Sophia leaves and she goes get ready to work, and Tate and Johnny and Chanel start talking, and they said they know how much it is on him, and he said it's not even about me, it's about how Sophia's feeling, and then Holly, it's a lot for her to take in, and I'm just trying to really balance it off. I'm trying to be there for Holly and Sophia, and also still commit to my relationship with Holly, so it's a lot, right? So going back to Holly, Doug comes in, and Doug tells her that he's not working again. Leo said the soap opera is canceled, so now he doesn't have a job. So Holly is sorry to hear that, and she said that if I hear about anything, I'll definitely put you on to it. So he said he definitely appreciate the help, and he said that Leo actually doesn't want the money for the trip, because Holly was gonna say that she's gonna get a refund for the school trip, and he said don't worry about it. Leo said it's all good, so she's surprised that Leo would agree to that given his nature. But Doug said no, he's fine with it, just don't mention it in public, right? So anyways, he said, you're alone? So she said, not really. Tate went out with Sophia because they found somebody that is suitable to give the baby for adoption. So he's like, they found somebody. I thought they didn't find anything. So she tells him, and she said, hopefully it comes true. And am I selfish for thinking like that? I said, no, like, you really wanted to come true because you and Tate really want to pick up on your relationship, and I'm sure none of you involved really want to have the baby to you, and maybe it's best for the baby in the end, right? So at some point, Tate comes in, see them, looking chummy together. Of course, he has he's always rubbed the wrong way with that. So he comes in and tells Holly that, look, the couple does not want to adopt the baby, so now they're at square one. So of course, Holly is like, okay, what more can I really deal with? At this point, this is just gonna tear them apart once and for all, and I'm all here for it. Like, I'm not here for Joy and Alex, and I'm not here for Tate and Holly at this point. So last but not least, Stephanie is out trying to call investors, seeing who will really want to take up the hospital. So somebody said that they would talk to her, in 24 hours or whatever like that. And, Alex comes in and, Stephanie tells him everything about the hospital, that the hospital is being, filing for bankruptcy. And he's sorry to hear that. He probably, he's saying, imagine how your mom's feeling. She said she's not really taking the news really well. And he said he can definitely imagine. So he said he has some news too. And she said, if it's, is it bad news anyways, just lay it on me at this point. So he said that Joy and him, we broke up. So I was like, rolling my eyes, like, boy, she broke up with you. But anyways, he did clarify and said that, she broke up with him because Stephanie did ask if it was him or she, called for the breakup. He said called for the breakup. Sorry. So anyways, he says that, she didn't take it really well because she did find out about us, and it just didn't end well. But I'm just happy to be moving forward. So she said that he asked to see her later on, and she said no, she has a lot of work and she wants to help to save the hospital. But he said I can come over, keep you company. She said don't be a distraction. He said like, yeah, I promise, and I'll keep it to a minimum. So she said okay, cool. So he's there kissing her in the hospital yet again, and they're hugging and they walk off, and there goes Joy, miserable as can be, looking at them, shaking her head. At this point, she just needs to pack it up and go to New York, because at this point, what does she have in Salem at this point? Nobody, no friends, no partner, nothing. So she just needs to go back to New York, like do something there. But what are your thoughts on today's episode, guys? Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on today's episode. Are you happy for Johnny and Chanel and Stephanie and Alex? What do you think about Joy? Because it's a lot to take in.